Welcome to Mobile Youth Television. I'm your host, Benjamin Leese. I just returned from my trip to New York City and experienced one of the wildest and wet weekends ever. A combination of rain and wind left the streets of New York City littered with broken umbrellas and shivering cold tourists. I managed, however, to taxi my way through the supersized ads of Times Square and into the offices of Mr. Youth, where I met with 1010 Youth Award nominee Doug Akin in one of the most psychedelic stairwells in New York City to find out why they have been so successful in marketing with youth and his thoughts on the future of youth marketing.
What's happening?
So, Doug, what does Mr. Youth understand about Gen Y that others don't and brands want to know?
I think we understand the connection point. A lot of brands are still stuck in the celebrity kind of model of influencing youth through kind of celebrity endorsements. I think we try to create a connection point with young people who really listen to them and make them a part of the marketing process and not really force feed kind of a mass media message.
How has digital media changed the landscape of youth marketing?
I mean, digital media is essentially given an entirely new medium. Kids are fast forwarding through TV channels, through TV commercials. They're not even really watching TV as much. They're going to Hulu. So the digital platform has really opened up a whole new world of connection through social connections, through brand connections, through information connection, discovery. It's really reinvigorated and reignited the products. How does a brand connect to a young customer? I think it's about understanding, engaging with that customer. So can you create a platform that starts small and can grow, and really have dialogue with the consumer? Is it on a college campus? Is it at a major event? Is it on a social network? And really learn from what that consumer wants to hear from you about and evolve that message. I mean, you definitely have to look at the product itself. Is it appealing to the consumer? Is it something that they want to talk about? Do they want to share with their friends? Are you giving them the tools for them to share with their friends? Are you encouraging that participation? Are you potentially rewarding that participation? If I did share, would the brand be able to recognize me? Would I feel recognized? So there's a lot of, I think, just understanding of the relationship between brand and consumer that forever was communicated in a very, again, one-way dialogue. You talk at the consumer, you send them a message via newsletter, you produce a print ad, you interrupt them in a TV channel. And now it's about that two-way platform, which that's what brands need to open up and expose themselves, the good, the bad, and the ugly. They might realize, their consumers might say, your brand sucks. And they might go back to the drawing board and they might pull out something from their treasure chest that's 40 years old. And now all of a sudden, Mountain Dew started repurposing their old advertising, and all of a sudden it had that retro nostalgic connection to a new generation that was like, wow, that's cool. And that's something brands have, and they underutilize. What is that special sauce? What is that key differentiator that the brand can kind of unlock, or the brand owns, that nobody else has?
What are the biggest mistakes you see brands making right now?
It's a good question. I think that a lot of brands still aren't listening to consumers. They're still sitting in a room and determining what they think a consumer wants and investing a lot of money without really embracing and listening. The brands that are doing things well are listening to consumers, making them a part of the marketing process, and also really involving themselves in the marketplace, not sitting in a big corporate culture environment, but really immersing themselves in what they think what youth culture stands for today.
What's your best piece of advice to a brand?
I think it's not. Don't read trend reports, to the extent of just following and believing, that you see all these brands have these profiles of what a young person is, and it's Mike or Sally, and that she likes this, and this is what she wears, and it's to build an entire brand around that. I think is a miss, because you're really typecasting the audience. And if you look at college, I mean, there's so many behaviors and there's so many different micro audiences within even the 18 to 24 crowd. So it's important to understand that, and that it's not a mass market. You can't speak to everybody in a fully monolithic fashion. You have to speak to them as individuals. And consumers have hard times with brands that aren't authentic and brands that are just, taking out big mass media messaging and hoping to connect, and they don't feel that it's genuine. So I'd say really listen, really figure out the connection points, the points of differentiation. Why? What are you talking about? Why is it important to a young person? Why should they care? And then how to continue keeping those conversations and dialogues going.
For free presentations and reports on youth marketing, visit mobileyouthnet.com. We're bringing our youth marketing insights to North America. Join us on tour as we visit New York, Toronto, Seattle, Los Angeles, and Miami. To meet up, email me at ben.lease@mobileyouth.org.